Good morning. I'm Ed Hightower, and I'll just leave it at that. Some have said, Ed Hightower who? But it's a pleasure to be here this morning, and it's a great day for Illinois, and particularly our region, that we have the governor with us, Governor Pritzker with us this morning, along with key legislators across the state. And Mayor Eccles will introduce those individuals in just a moment. But again, it's a great day in that we have fought for years to try and address the issue of food desert communities, low-income rural areas that really need grocery store to assist with the consumers, whereby they can walk, drive closely, and have their needs met. So to have the governor here today to sign the bill to get this done is a great day for Illinois families, and particularly rural and low-income communities. I want to just say this before I introduce Mayor Eccles. Governor Pritzker, when he was running for office, made basically two pledges to the constituents of this area. He said, every day I will work hard for the working families of Illinois. And secondly, if elected, and we have several Venice, Alton, Madison, Granite City, Brooklyn residents here today, I will return to this area. Not too many politicians keep their promise. Governor Pritzker has kept every promise that he made to the constituents of Illinois when he was running as a candidate. Governor Pritzker, thank you so much for keeping your promise and working on behalf of the citizens of Illinois. It gives me great pleasure at this time to introduce a guy, a person, a friend, a leader of this area who has done so much to make life better for working families, citizens of this area. The longest standing mayor of this region, Mayor Tyrone Eccles. Please welcome him at this time.
Thank you, Dr. Hightower. Let me say, this is a day the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and being exceeding glad in it. First and foremost, I want to extend a special welcome to Governor J.B. Pritzker, Deputy Governor Andy Menor, Representative Jay Hoffman, Senator Chris Belt, Senator Dale Fowler, Representative Mary Beth Canty, and LaToya Greenwood, the State Central Committee woman of the 13th Congressional District, and thank them for their tireless efforts on behalf of the citizens of this state and especially our region. I also want to thank the Venice City Council for its ongoing support, as well as my colleagues, Madison Mayor John Hamm and his council, Brooklyn Mayor Vera Banks and her city council, Granite City Mayor Mike Parkinson and members of his council. We are honored today to have with us also President Dan Mahoney, Southern Illinois University President, President Nick Mance of the Southwestern Illinois College, President Brent Wood, St. Louis Terminal Railroad, President Larry McCulley, Southern Illinois Hospital Foundation, and Executive Secretary Eric Euler, Southwestern Building Trades. I especially want to recognize Dr. Hightower for his outstanding leadership in advocating for grocery stores in the rural and low-income communities and developing the Building for Success, a transformational economic and community revitalization plan for Venice, Madison, Brooklyn, and along with his team, Southern Illinois University, Southwestern Illinois College, Southern Illinois Hospital Foundation, Madison County Housing Authority, St. Louis Terminal Railroad, Madison County Administration, Southwestern Illinois Building and Construction Trades Council, Southern Illinois Buildings Associate, and Madison County Transit. Representative Hoffman and Senator Belt, the citizens of our communities, thank you for your unwavering commitment to represent us and providing the quality of life resources. Please join me in applauding them. And Governor Pritzker, thank you for doing something that most politicians cannot do, keep a promise. When you were a candidate for Illinois governor, you pledged you would work every day to improve the lives of working families. Secondly, you promised to visit Venice, Brooklyn, Madison communities. Today you're here. This is a historic moment for Venice, Madison, Brooklyn, and Granite City communities, as Governor Pritzker has chosen our region of the state to sign the Illinois Grocery Store Initiative to help open and expand independent grocery stores in underserved neighborhoods. Please join me in thanking the governor for that, too. Governor Pritzker, on behalf of Illinois citizens living in low-income and rural communities, thank you for making the Grocery Store Initiative a priority of your administration. We know that without access to healthful foods, people living in food deserts remain in higher risk of diet-related conditions such as obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular disease. Your administration is paving the way for government, private, and grassroots to collaborate to solve this critical problem by placing neighborhood grocery stores closer to consumers where they can access fresh food, including meat, fruits, and vegetables. Finally, thank you, Governor, for your leadership in rebuilding Illinois and improving the lives of Illinois families, and for choosing our community to sign this historic grocery initiative. God bless and Godspeed, Governor.
Well, thank you very much. I can tell that God is here because just look at the weather outside. Every time I come here, the weather is amazing. I know y'all all year round, right? That's what it's like here in Venice. I really appreciate the kind words of Mayor Eccles, and it is great to be back here in Venice, great to be back in Metro East. I really am grateful to be here because today we get to enact a new law, an important new law for the health and happiness of communities all across central and southern Illinois. When our residents struggle because they can't find affordable and nutritious food to put on the table, that's a problem that requires community input and help from our elected leaders and community leaders. And sometimes the answer is better transportation. Sometimes the answer is helping stores stay in business. Sometimes the answer is we need to create a new local grocery store right in the neighborhood. There are lots of ways to overcome this challenge. My senior team members searched the nation for solutions because we've too often seen large retail food chains leave these communities for greener pastures, or what they think are greener pastures. The truth is, a grocery store anchored in and run by people in the neighborhood is more likely to survive. So I proposed the Illinois Grocery Initiative to provide financial assistance to new and existing independent grocery stores, nonprofit stores, cooperatives, and municipal-run grocery stores across the state. Today, after receiving bipartisan support, I want to repeat that. After receiving bipartisan support in the General Assembly, I am proud to sign this bill into law. This first of its kind state government investment is just a $20 million pilot program that will open grocery stores in underserved rural towns and urban neighborhoods and help existing small grocers make ends meet. Too often residents have to cross county lines, sometimes state lines, to pick up bread and milk and produce, as residents here in Venice know all too well. The Illinois Grocery Initiative will help increase access to affordable, nutritious food while helping to revitalize local economies by creating new small businesses or helping to save existing ones. More than 3 million Illinoisans live in a food desert. I'm going to repeat that. More than 3 million Illinoisans live in a food desert. And countless more are just one grocery store closing away from joining the 3 million. And a number of these small enterprises are struggling to keep their doors open due to aging equipment and soaring maintenance costs, with refrigerators and freezers sometimes decades old. Well, 20% of the Illinois Grocery Initiative will help these stores replace aging equipment with energy-efficient alternatives, keeping costs down and, most importantly, keeping their doors open. I want to thank Senator Chris Belt and Representative Mary Beth Canty for sponsoring this bill. I want to acknowledge the work of LaToya Greenwood, who was always in my ear about things that would be good for the community here, and I appreciate her advocacy. Thanks also to Leader Jay Hoffman and to Representative Katie Stewart for their support. This bill made it across the finish line with the help of independent grocers and the Illinois Retail Merchants Association, the Economic Security Project, the Kansas Rural Grocery Initiative, Sean Park at Western Illinois University, U of I Extension, and so many others. I also want to recognize Chief Senate co-sponsor Dale Fowler for his advocacy among his colleagues across the aisle. It is the best of government when Republicans and Democrats can come together and put our people first. And Dale Fowler managed to get unanimous support in the Senate among Republicans and Democrats. The Illinois Grocery Initiative is part of a holistic approach to ensuring Illinois families, especially downstate, attain the building blocks of a good life. In July, I signed into law a $350 million investment for our Home Illinois initiative to address housing and homelessness. And we're breathing new life into small towns and downtowns through our Main Streets Capital program and the Rebuild Illinois Local Roads funds. Collectively, these programs are investing hundreds of millions of dollars across downstate Illinois. All of this is about building a stronger Illinois for every resident. Every family can thrive in our state. So thank you, and with that, I'll turn it over to one of the hardest working senators and a champion for the people of Metro East, Senator Chris Belt.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. First and foremost, I want to take this time to echo the sentiments of Mayor Echols. This whole grocery store initiative was the governor's vision. We're not here today if it wasn't for the governor and his vision on fighting and eradicating food deserts in Illinois. So, Governor, I want to thank you for your leadership. Secondly, I want to thank Deputy Governor Menard, Andy, my former colleague on the Senate floor. When Andy was one of the first people to sit myself down along with my colleague and my friend, Dale Fowler, Senator Fowler, and to really go in depth about the program and giving vision, perhaps for the first time, to us of an abstract idea. You gave us a good vision and a point of reference to start. So again, I want to thank you for that. And And lastly, as the governor stated, to LaToya Greenwood, oh my God, she just kept talking about this program and how important it is, and so if nothing else, I had to sponsor this bill. And finally, to Representative Canty, she got the memo, and we did the Barbie thing, and we my pink, your pink, so awesome. I would see her so the bill flew out of the Senate. It just flew out. Senator Fowler on his end with his caucus, and me representing our caucus, it unanimously went out. But I would see her from time to time, and I would constantly ask, how's it going? Oh, well, we're going to get it there. And I would keep seeing her. We would talk on the phone, how's it going? And she was like, okay, we're going to get it there. And to her credit, she got it across the finish line in the House. So thank you so much for your work. The food you eat can be either the safest and most powerful form of medicine or the slowest form of poison. And Whitmore stated that. And unfortunately, because of circumstances beyond most of our control, many of us are stuck to choose the latter. Food is poison. Food insecurities can lead to type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease. In short, what we eat is central to our health. This is why Senate Bill 850 was must-do legislation. Senate Bill 850 is the embodiment of Governor Pritzker's initiative first put forth in his fiscal 24 budget proposal. The bill would direct the state's Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity to establish the Grocery Initiative, a program that would study food deserts in Illinois and provide grants to new or existing grocery stores in these areas. The grants would be available to grocery stores that are organized as independently owned for-profits, co-ops, and non-profit organizations, as well as grocery stores owned by units of local government. Lastly, as the governor stated, there's approximately 3.3 million people, roughly about 1 in 4 residents in Illinois live in a food desert, according to a 2021 Illinois Department of Public Health report that used data from the United States Department of Agriculture, 1 in 4. These numbers are utterly unacceptable. The $20 million to fund this program pales in comparison to the dollars we spend on ER visits, health insurance programs, incarceration, and loss of productivity. If we truly are what we eat, then the return on investment of this program should be astronomical. Study after study shows the more nutritious the food we eat, the better we feel. When we feel better, we become productive. That productivity from a healthy Illinois residents then helps build healthier, more vibrant communities. Let's eradicate food deserts and build strong communities. With that being said, it is my honor, it is my privilege to bring up the Dean of the General Assembly, and he just so happens to be my friend and my representative, Jay Hoffman.
Well, thank you, Senator. Does that mean you're calling me old? No. I started very young. Like Governor Pritzker indicated, God is present, and we'd like to welcome you, Governor, to God's country. My colleagues, Representative Katie Stewart, Senator Belt, LaToya Greenwood, we work as a team here in the Metro East to make sure that things like this get done. I'd like to thank the governor for all the commitment he's made to the entire Metro East community, not only for education dollars, infrastructure improvements. We got 270 Bridge, which is in conjunction with Missouri, where we made a huge commitment, and Governor Pritzker, we would like to thank you for all of that. In addition Today, we are taking a huge step forward, and I'd also like to thank Deputy Governor Andy Menard, as well as Kristen Richards, who is behind me. She is the head of DCEO, and we're so lucky because she is a native of the Metro East area and knows the needs of our community, and it's helpful when we go to Kristen and ask her for assistance. I'd also like to just say a couple things about Mary Beth Canty, who is right here. She's not from our area, but she's visiting today because she was a yeoman sponsor in making sure that this legislation got passed. When I first got elected, it took me a while to figure out where the bathrooms were, right? Mary Beth Canty carried this in her first session, and she made sure that we in the Illinois General Assembly knew how important this was, and in the Illinois House knew how important this was. So as we move forward with the communities of Brooklyn, communities of Madison, Granite City, and Venice, and we revitalize this area and make sure that everyone will have access to fresh produce, have access to food, so that nobody in the state of Illinois has to worry where they're going to get their next meal. I would like to introduce Senator Dale Fowler. Dale Fowler is a great friend of mine. He represents a rural area, not a metropolitan area, but they face the same issues when it comes to access to fresh foods and fresh produce. And Dale Fowler is a Republican, and I'm not going to hold that against him because he's my friend, and it shows that if you work together in a bipartisan fashion, you can get great things done. Senator Dale Fowler.
Thank you, Representative Hoffman. I cherish your friendship as well. And Mayor, thank you for the hospitality, and congratulations on your 40 years of being mayor. Governor Pritzker, thank you for your passion and your leadership to help alleviate the food deserts that we face here in the state of Illinois. Thank you so much, Governor Pritzker. It's an honor to be here with you today on this very historic day and very special day for the state of Illinois. As chief co-sponsor of Senate Bill 850, I'd like to thank my good friend Senator Belt for his work on this very important legislation being signed today by Governor Pritzker. I'd also like to thank, as mentioned before, Deputy Governor Menard for asking me to be a part of the Illinois Grocery Initiative that led to today's bill's action. And a special thank you to Deputy Governor Menard's staff, Kate Lindgren and Lila Englander. Kate is actually with us here today. So Kate, thank you so much. And Lila, thank you so much for your work. Kate and Lila did extraordinary work, and we met on many occasions, and their hard work is paying off here today, so much appreciated. Additionally, I'm thankful for the time they took to visit my district and spend time speaking to mayors and county representatives, especially in my counties one of my counties that doesn't even have a grocery store. Yes, an entire county in the 59th district that I represent does not have one single grocery store. This bill, administered by the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, addresses the food insecurities and food deserts faced by many areas of our state, especially in the urban areas and areas such as the district that I represent. And as Governor Pritzker and Senator Belt mentioned, more than 3 million people live in food deserts across our state. Additionally, I would like to give a special thank you to the University of Illinois Extension for assisting me in meeting with many family-owned grocery store owners and compiling data and surveys addressing the challenges they have in keeping their doors open now and in the future. This data revealed that 68% of the stores surveyed were struggling significantly. And without immediate action, nearly one-half stated it would likely be that they would not be operational within 3 years. Senate Bill 850 gives hope by providing opportunity for relief to qualifying stores, such as capital funds for infrastructure, renovation projects, grants for energy-efficient equipment, as mentioned, business plan development, marketing and community engagement, and so much more. I believe it is our duty as state legislators to provide and promote access to state resources, such as the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, as we are here today for this very important day and the signing of Senate Bill 850. And this department establishing access to healthy foods in food deserts in Illinois. And I will forever be grateful for their unwavering work in the work that is the hard work that's going to be going in to this Illinois Grocery Initiative to ensure that our citizens have proper nutrition and alleviate the food deserts. Thank you so much. It's been an honor to be with you today, and it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the Director of the Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, Director Kristen Richards.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Kristen Richards, and I am the Director of the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity, or DCEO. I am thrilled to be here in Venice today to celebrate the signing of the Illinois Grocery Initiative Act into law. I grew up in nearby St. Clair County, and unfortunately, the number of food deserts in this area and in Illinois is accelerating. Working families in our communities here in the Metro East and throughout the state should not have to struggle to access healthy produce. But we are fortunate to have the leadership of Governor Pritzker and the General Assembly members committed to addressing the needs of Illinois families. The Illinois Grocery Initiative increases access to healthy foods while spurring economic development in the areas that need it the most. This $20 million investment will help open new grocery stores in food deserts while supporting existing grocery stores with much-needed upgrades. DCEO will also commission a study to gather a better understanding of food insecurity and food deserts across the state to inform future rounds of this program. We're going to explore reasons for market declines, historical disparities, policy solutions, geographic trends, and more. Illinoisans can only live to their fullest potential if they can meet their basic needs, and nobody should have to worry about driving hours just to put food on the table. Thanks to Governor Pritzker and all of the advocates who fought for the passage of this legislation, DCEO is honored to take the lead on implementing this important initiative. And with that, it's my honor to turn it over to Chief Legislative Champion, Representative Mary Beth Canty.
So I'm gonna be honest with you all for a minute. I am pretty emotional because I am very excited about this bill. I was asked to work on this bill before I knew it was a bill by a group of kids in Chicago when they were losing their major grocery stores, their Walmarts, their Aldis. And they said it is becoming less and less safe for us to go and get our groceries if we even have time to do it. And I said, I can help you. We can work on this. And then I heard the governor make his budget address, and I said, oh my gosh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna get grocery stores for these kids. We are gonna help these families. As lawmakers, we have several responsibilities, but the most important one is to build strong, safe, and healthy communities for our constituents, families, and children to enjoy. And this means ensuring that our communities have everything they need to grow and thrive. At its most basic level, this means ensuring that all individuals, no matter their race, their background, their financial circumstance, or their zip code, have access to nutritious food. So today we take another step to ensure the health and safety of vulnerable communities across the state, but we do something else. We give a much needed injection of economic support to their small businesses. With the help of grants from the DCEO, local, independently owned grocery stores will grow and create jobs, bolstering nearby economies and creating vital new opportunities for steady income. This money, as Sean Park knows, as Dakari Howard knows, as Tito Quinones knows, is not charity. We will see every dollar back circulating those communities and ultimately Illinois as a whole to the benefit of every person in this state. Sadly, Illinois is home to several food deserts in urban, suburban, and rural areas like this one. So many people have few to no convenient options for securing affordable and healthy foods, resulting in poor health, and that's if these families even get enough to eat. Food deserts are commonly found in Black and brown communities and low-income communities, perpetuating a cycle of poor health outcomes for our most vulnerable. When people are hungry, people get desperate, and desperate people do desperate things. Some research suggests that food deserts may influence the incidence of violent crime, and that nutrient deficiencies resulting from residing in a food desert may contribute to macro-level violence in these geographic areas. So with this significant legislation, we are not only expanding access to nutritious food, we are not only expanding economies, but we are also addressing root causes of violence, and that is something to be proud of. Incentivizing grocery store development in food deserts helps to prevent chronic illness and combat the negative externalities associated with food insecurity, especially for low-income and historically marginalized communities. I am grateful to my colleagues in the General Assembly and to Governor Pritzker for coming together to end food deserts for those in need, for developing a program that is both good for business and good for people. Let today be one step of many to improve the health and safety of communities across Illinois. And now, it is my great honor and my privilege to invite Governor J.B. Pritzker to the table to sign this amazing piece of legislation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Tyler, why don't you get it? I'm going to take a few questions from members of the media, and then we can wrap here. Happy to take any questions. And everybody's settling down. Any questions? Yeah.
How soon do you think where assistance could first get to a business, and what would be the process? Is there a website or an app? Where would you go?
I'm going to let the Department of Commerce director come up, but I just want to make sure we're moving as fast as we can because we know that there is a need all across the state.
Yeah, absolutely. We've been anticipating today, but of course, now that this is the law of the land, we have the opportunity to take final steps towards implementing the funding opportunity for the program. So more to come. We will make sure we issue releases and make the public very aware when the funding opportunity is open.
And there'll be grant applications.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah.
That's quite right.
So you'll find that on the DCEO website.
Correct. Quite right, Governor. On the DCO website, we'll have everything out there, including eligibility criteria and what people need to do in order to apply.
DCEO.illinois.gov. Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you all very much. Thank you for coming today.